Thought for the day. Stepping out of your comfort zone is stepping into your greatness. Welcome to 7 Minutes for Yourself. I'm Christina Aina, and I'm so glad you've joined me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. Let's take this time to reconnect with ourselves and improve our well-being. In today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself, we are reminded of the importance of breaking away from our comfort zones. Have a listen.
There's 3 reasons why breaking out of your comfort zone is so crucial for maximum growth and professional development. And the reason why is when you step out of your comfort zone, it gives you more independence, right? It increases your resourcefulness, and it definitely increases your capacity, your capabilities. Because as long as you maintain and remain in your comfort zone at any cost, what's going to happen is that it causes you to depend on your environment and on the current situation in order to give you the predictability, in order to be surrounded by the same people, in order to be having the routines that you're familiar with. And that familiarity becomes a dependence, it becomes a crutch. And as a result of that, it's difficult to step into greater levels of maturity, mental maturity. And it can also limit your resourcefulness whenever you are faced with challenges or whenever you're faced with issues that come along the way. And finally, as a result of that, staying in the comfort zone causes us to limit our capabilities as a result of the limitations of the resourcefulness, and also as a result of being dependent on our environment and the familiarity of it, right? Because there is a myth believing that staying in a comfort zone is going to give me more stability. And therefore, when I have stability, I have a level of predictability. I know exactly what's going to happen. And as a result of that, I can have confidence, right? So there is that myth and that belief that causes you to stay in your comfort zone. But truly breaking out, this is where maximum growth occurs, when we face our challenges and when we experience both challenge and support, and we embrace both that life gives you along the way, right? So the biggest benefit of breaking out of the comfort zone is those 3 things. It is the independence, it is the resourcefulness that we can achieve for mental maturity, and definitely it is the capacity, right? So moving forward, I'm going to give you the 5 hacks on how do you break out of your comfort zone. Bring out your notepad, take some notes as well, because you're going to be implementing this every step of the way. And at the end of these 5 hacks, you're going to realize it's as simple as ABC. In fact, the 5 hacks are going to follow the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, and that's how it'll be easy to remember for you. So step number 1, or letter A, is align the purpose. One of the most important things in terms of stepping out of the comfort zone is to understand what is my compelling reason to do so. Because the biggest reason why people set goals, and no matter how meaningful they are to us, sometimes we don't achieve them. Sometimes we get off track. Sometimes we get distracted. Sometimes we get derailed. And one of the biggest reasons why these things happen is because there's no compelling reason. There's no central purpose. A purpose is a purpose that's bigger than you, that is longer lasting than your lifetime and your life frames as well. So what is your compelling reason? And it's very personal. This is alignment with your true life purpose, your core mission in life. So what is that for you? And what is the compelling reason? Not just any reason, but how do you make it compelling? So now you have inspiration. You know why you're doing this. That is number 1. Letter A is align the purpose. Letter B is to burn the boats. To explain this point, I have to give you a very short and sweet lesson in history. This goes back to the Battle of Julu in China in around 207 BC. There was an emperor, this was in the Qin dynasty, Xiang Yu. He was to cross the Yellow River. He was leading an army of 20,000 men, and he was going to defeat an army of 300,000 men. And the way that he defeated the army was that he ordered all of his men to destroy all of your cooking utensils and burn the boat so that you cannot recross back the river. And as a result of that, they successfully conquered 300,000 men with only an army of 20,000. So what do we learn from this lesson? When you burn the boats, what does that mean? It means there's no way back. It means there is no backup plan. It means there are no excuses. They burned the cooking utensils as well. They got rid of all of their kettles. This means that they only had 3 days to survive with the rations that they brought forward. And so this puts us in a heightened sense of urgency. Because that is the second biggest reason why we set goals and don't achieve them as well, because we don't have a sense of urgency. With this day and age, there's so many distractions, there's so many things, shining lights, shining object syndrome, shining objects that we want to go into, and this causes us to not develop a sense of urgency. So in order to develop a sense of urgency, change your environment. And how do you change the environment? To burn the boat. What is the boat for you? What are the excuses that you've been making? What is the pattern of decision making that you've been doing? The fallback plan. What is that fallback plan for you? And how can you remove that so that now you have a sense of urgency? And essentially that puts you in what I personally call this a do or die moment. And when humans tend to be in that situation, they tend to succeed. Hack letter C is to choreograph the moves. Have you ever seen a professional dancer perform from stage? It almost looks flawless. It almost looks like it was just a work of art. It looks like perfection. But make no mistake about it, that dancer had hours and hours, days and days, and years behind that performance. They choreographed every move. So what is choreography? It is nothing more than a definite plan. It is, what are the steps I'm going to take? What is every move? What is the timing of every move? What is the outcome of every move? And definitely, what is the intent of every move? That is choreography, the essence of what choreography is. And a definite plan is super important, because if you do not have a plan, that in essence, necessarily you are planning to fail.
That concludes today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Today and every day with your kiddo is a gift. Enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in.